This is a presentation on American College of Nurse Midwives with Jason Hayes and Jamie Gibson. When we think about the history of American College of Nurse Midwives, ACNM is a professional association that represents certified midwives, and certified midwives as well in the U.S. and globally. It dates back to 1955 when the association was formed, but even going back further, there was information on the website about it dating back to 1929 and it being leading examples of excellent midwifery care, education, and practice in the U.S. They also have special interests in promoting global health in developing countries. ACNM also is and has a foundation, which is their philanthropic arm, and that was founded in 1963, where they have a foundation that supports other entities, and it's a nonprofit. So just talking about the organizational structure a little bit, we talked about before how ACNM has a foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of ACNM, and then also, they primarily are structured that they have membership dues, and that's how they, organize their continuing efforts to support the association. They also do have sponsors and partners, and those sponsors and partners are usually state and federally funded agencies that help support their efforts for women's health through the lifespan. So this next slide really talks about the organization's importance in advanced practice nursing, and really what they believe and what they, seem to exemplify is that if you have a formal education and advance yourself in midwifery, that you can really improve outcomes of women's health, neonatal health, and beyond. They also talked about evidence-based practice and how evidence-based practice is important because that also can improve outcomes. And if we don't have that, then how do we move the needle forward for continued improvement in health care for women? And then they also talked about the foundation of their commitment to individual and collective leadership in the community at the state level and national level and international level to improve women's health. And that also is how it contributes to advanced nursing practice. This next slide talks about, the essentials that we read about and how does that pertain to the College of Midwives. The association had their mission and vision, and really what the core of their vision was research, interprofessional development, and communication. And really to kind of take two of those, essential two that we kind of read about, talked about leadership and how leadership can focus and direct care. And also can help target certain populations of people. And really that's what this association does. There's a specific group, and sometimes those groups are vulnerable, especially when we're talking about the development, underdeveloped countries and how they support that. Another thing that they talked about too is the communication style and the evidence-based practice. So Essential 3 really honed in on research and exploring new ways to better improve women's health. And like I said before, through neonate and promoting and developing quality care with public health departments and other healthcare providers. This slide talks more in depth about their pointed leadership. They have different conferences that they are a part of. Some of them they host. So one thing that they talked about was college's annual midwifery conference, and then also the Leaping into Leadership, which helps advance the midwives and empower and give empowerment and guidance tools to better their practice. And then they also host and affiliate leaders community on connection, and then global outreach, which is another conference, and that's advancing maternal health in small communities around the world. They have different programmings as well, and then also membership benefits. You get continuing education, and through that you're learning and hopefully improving your leadership style, but also continuing getting credit to advance yourself. This last slide talks about the political impact, and really affiliate support. So ACNM has a commitment to assisting affiliates in their pursuit of legislative and regulatory reform and policy, which lead to passage of several state laws to improve the practice environment for midwives and address maternal mortality. Another way that ACNM has a political impact is through Midwives PAC. They solicit federal legislators who hold key positions for political office or candidates who have demonstrated an interest and a commitment to view goals and initiatives and promote ACNM. PAC also tries to create relationships between legislators and midwives so they can see ACNM as a resource when issues of women's health come up before the Congress. Representatives of ACNM testify at federal and state legislative levels and regulatory hearings and track both state and federal legislation and regulatory effects of nurse midwifery practice. So, they have a lot of impact on the political side of things and for improvement and putting laws and hopefully laws in place to improve maternal and women's health. Jason and I thank you for watching our presentation.